Today we're going to talk about the Iron Age Audioworks V2 equalizer. The V2 is a dual mono bridged T RC filter equalizer. Sounds fancy, but what that really means is that it's a very flexible and very powerful EQ that can be used for everything from tracking, mixing, and mastering. You can go from mild to wild, and it can be transparent or very heavy-handed. The beautiful thing about the bridge T structure is that by controlling the different parts of the filter, you can actually change both the bandwidth of the Q, or how sharp it is, and also the center frequency, and you can move all of these things around however you like to get exactly the notching or filtering or shelving behavior that you want. The other thing that is really great in this design is that the same exact resistors and capacitors are used when you're in boost or in cut, which means that the filter moves are entirely reversible. So let's walk through the feature set. Each channel can be operated independently, and there's a true wire bypass, so we're going to engage the channel here. And once it's in, now the EQ is doing its work, and you can see on the spectrum analyzer here what each switch does. So there are 3 identical bands. Each band has the same controls, one knob for the amount of boost and cut, and the other knob to select the center frequency. So each switch position steps the gain up or down in stepped increments from 2 to 12 dB in track mode and up to 2.5 dB in master. So as we move the bass or the low frequency band up, you can see the gain increases a little bit at a time, and we'll move the frequency up to 400 Hertz, so you can see it very clearly, and all the way up to 12 dB. So in shelving mode, which is what this controls, you've got a shelf mode for the low and the high band. The amount of boost indicated is at the frequency indicated in the selection. So when you're at plus 12, that means you have 12 dB of boost at 400 Hertz. When you go to peak, that changes the center of your band, of your filter, to be at 400 Hertz and still at 12 dB of gain. What that means is that below, when you're in shelving mode, below the center frequency, the gain actually does continue to rise, and it stays high all the way through the end of the audio band, down to 20 Hertz if you're in the low band, or up to 20 kilohertz if you're in the high band. So in addition to the low and the high bands, which have peaking or shelving behavior, you have a mid band which behaves the exact same way, except it is always in peaking mode. So you can see up to 12 dB, step down to minus 12 dB. And of course, the high shelf or the high band works in the same way with peaking or shelving behavior. One other feature that we added is the track master mode switch. So what this is a global switch. It works on all the bands of one channel, and it changes the master from plus or minus 12 dB to plus or minus 2 dB with a flick of a switch. And lastly, when you're in flat, it's easy to see the effect of the bandpass filter here. The bandpass filter removes material below 60 Hertz and above 16 kilohertz in order to give a really nice tight frequency response to clean up the extremes of the audio.